Hi, this is Meredith Lego, and I'm doing a series of videos on Ascension science. The last few videos that I've touched upon have been about how the human body starts to evolve through different codes that are provided and basically provided to us through photons. And photons are actually different units that can carry information codes. Now, I highly encourage you to go through the last few videos because it gets into exactly how that happens. And much of the content that I'm going over has been provided to me through a connection that I have with several beings who have moved past the need of the reincarnational cycle. And one of them is named Ascended Master Hilarion, but I've also connected with other beings as well. So in this particular session that I'm going to share with you of sort of a channeling session or a connection session that I did with Hilarion, I asked the question, explain liquid light plasma. Because one of the things that essentially he talked about is the fact that in humans today, they're starting to show signs of actually having light clusters show up within their actual bloodstreams. And in addition to that, and I covered this in the last video, we learned how the actual bodies changes, as dimensional consciousness changes and starts to evolve, let's say from 1 all the way up to 15, you're going to have a change in the density structure of the physical matter. And as you get to the final, not quite the final stage, because at that stage you became more of a wave pattern, but right before that you have a crystalline light body. And so I was curious if there was a connection between light starting to be entered into the DNA or attracted into the DNA and carrying those codes with liquid light plasma, and so how that all connected together. So his answer is that liquid light plasma is a substance that holds light at a cellular level. Information codes are carried in structured light photons within a liquid format. Plasma is a way to flow the exchange of information in, through, and around the DNA and cells into the body. The plasma components of the human blood is beginning to change to carry a higher quotient or higher light quotient. As such, more light and information codes through the body can be altered, transmuted, and transformed. Liquid light is the first stage into the physical light body. The plasma is super electrified or energetically charged with light. Then the plasma is run into and through the body. Energy vibrated into the plasma naturally through sun pulses is the preferred way. And so essentially, what he's saying is, that obviously you've got the substance, it has the ability to hold some of the information codes and allow it to kind of pass in through and around the DNA. And I'm trying to see if there's anything else worth repeating. Yeah, it begins to carry the DNA in such a way and change it to carry a higher light quotient, which makes sense. I think the other thing that he says at the end is that energy vibrated into the plasma naturally occurs through sun pulses. And I touched upon this in the last video that essentially, well, really in the last, there's been a sequence of videos I touched about this, is that our solar system is in a certain placement within the Milky Way in which we're getting a higher frequency, a higher charged or higher vibrational set of frequency that's hitting us. Much of that is actually coming to us from the galactic center sun, which is located in the Andromeda galaxy. And we actually rotate through this about every 13,000 years or so. So our solar system kind of rotates all the way through about every 26,000 years or so, but we go through this sort of light stream every 11 to 13,000 years or so. And so we're in that. And when that happens, essentially our sun equally gets upgrades through that process and can sort of take the information codes that it's getting and pulse it out through sort of a breathing process. So the sun is a conscious being, just like any other being, just like a star, and essentially goes through a breathing process of an in-breath and an out-breath. And essentially, it's pulsing off information codes to us right now as well. And in the next video, I'm going to touch upon another channeled session in which I sort of ask about that solar activity. So hopefully that provided you some information about liquid light plasma. There's certainly a lot more that I want to know about it. I just have not gotten back to it in terms of asking Hilarion about it, but I'll continue to do some research because I'm kind of reinvigorated to find out more about it. So with that, I hope you have a great evening, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll continue to do more videos on all these topics. Thanks, and have a great evening.